Buddy.
Just a minute, okay? We got it. Just a second. I know, just a minute. I can't do an upside down one. It's.
Like that?
There we go. Totally throwing gang signs.
No gang signs.
No gang signs.
Please, no gang signs.
And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. I got Chris from Movies and Munchies. He just happened to come across to the UK and, jump on my set. Oh, wait, no, it's yours. We are reviewing Netflix's original series, probably our most anticipated season or series of TV this year, 1899. Non-spoiler. First 6 episodes. Let's go.
1899 follows the mysterious circumstances around the voyage of an immigrant ship from Europe to New York. The passengers, all of different backgrounds and nationalities, are united by their hopes and dreams for a new century and their future abroad. When they discover a second ship adrift on the open sea that had gone missing for months, their journey takes an unexpected turn. What they find on board will turn the passage to the promised land into a nightmare-like riddle, connecting each of the passengers' past through a web of secrets. I don't even know where to begin with this. The story, I'm not sure, other than what the synopsis that we just read, there's not much more to the story that we can give that isn't going to spoil, but also I'm not sure at this point in time I can fully explain it anyway.
It's the most frustrating series I've watched in a long time, but also the most interesting. Every single episode makes me go, huh? And then at the end of each episode, it makes me go, huh?
I love how each episode focuses, at least at the very beginning, on a character that we're going to meet. And it shows us just a little glimpse of something within their life. Is it real? Is it imagined? Is it a dream? I don't know. But it always then goes, wake up. And this episode begins. And we are just thrust into this world. Now, the set design is spectacular. It takes place 1899, like the title suggests. And so they're on this steamship, and it is kind of gray, and the costumes they're all very drab. And, the crew, dirty, because it's a coal steamer. So they look dirty. Even the captain, the dude, is weathered. I mean, he's not just this pristine looking guy who's never done a day's work in his life. I mean, he's had what we assume to be a very rough life.
Yes. 100%. The best way for me to describe this series with aesthetics and what's going on in the story is if you took the Titanic, mixed it with Lost and Dark and Fringe, you put those all together and then make it a story that you never know what's going on, but is so intriguing that you keep watching. And every episode you want to click onto the next episode because you need to know what's going to happen. That is what this is. But then we get the actors.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we have the stranger from Dark. He plays older Jonas, not old Jonas or Adam in Dark, but he's the stranger within Dark. Now, he is their ship's captain, and he's a tortured soul. I mean, and actually, almost all of these people that we see, they're very mysterious. I mean, there's a lot to their background that is slowly eked out for us. And so we have a captain. We have a mysterious rich woman who... There are some weird things that go on with her. I still don't understand some of that.
No.
We have a newly married couple with some issues. Have in steerage, in third class there, who are locked under the top deck.
The separation of classes.
Yeah, but like locking, that was very weird to me. I mean, like chained and behind a thing. They're Dutch and very religious. That brings its own whole just complexity and depth to the story.
Yeah, so I loved all of that. One of the things I wasn't expecting, and I think you weren't expecting this either, is that when it started, it was in English. And you thought, is this an English series? Now, I would say for the most part, it isn't. It's actually many languages, so there will be subtitles probably forced onto your screen for the many different cultures that are represented with each class that is on this, which makes it so much more interesting because everybody is nuanced because of their culture and the person and their background, and all their backgrounds are very complex and dark. Like the people on this ship belong in the series dark because they are dark. This was a fantastic look even at character studies of people going through something, and then you take all of them and you shove them onto a boat with a mystery going on that could be anything from thriller, horrific, horror to sci-fi, fantasy. It's all in there, and you're always trying to guess what's going on.
Some of the best scenes, because they all speak different languages, is them talking to each other in panicked, or even just trying to explain something, or even being just like letting their heart be shown, and they're speaking to somebody who has no clue what they're saying. I don't even know how they're accomplishing anything, but for us as the audience, it's really giving us an insight into each of these characters, because we're hearing their fears, their hopes, really just, I mean, even some of their motivations.
I do have a few concerns. We're kind of just gushing about it because it is incredible. But I do have a feeling in the pit of my stomach that if it's lost, you could go through a massive, wonderful first season. But then, as the writers themselves said, no, they're not dead. We know where this is going. And then at the end of the 7th season of Lost, you know what happened. And you will forever be scarred that way. Now, we can have some faith because it's the writers and creators of Dark. But at the same time, because it's so complex, because it's so mysterious, I do wonder.
Yeah, and I don't anticipate getting answers in the final 2 episodes. No. I think we might get a hint of something, but we've already been given hints, and they have just like blown my mind. After the first 1 or 2 episodes, we're shown some imagery, and you're like, wait a minute, time out here. What in the world's going on? I thought I understood, and now you're just blowing my mind. I don't want them to wrap it up. And if they were to wrap it up, I think it would be a detriment. Yeah. I want to go back to, like, I started with set design. They use that technology that The Mandalorian was using.
Oh.
You know, that this screen that surrounds. And so it makes the actors be able to interact with their surroundings. And so the lighting, so if a cloud passes by, it actually, you see the shadowing on the characters that way. And we had talked about also that, like, lighting within this show. Because it's 1899, there's not just bright lights like, you know, like the set is lit up like this. I mean, everything is very warmly lit and then dim. But we can still see our characters. And we can see the torment in their eyes, or the fear, or the anger, whatever that emotion happens to be. And I love the depth that we get balancing that light and that shadow. And it drew me in even more, and it made it more immersive. And then going back again to those color palettes, which are just gray and drab, cold, uninviting.
You have to applaud the cinematographers and the editors with I would say the best boy or the Sparky on set, filming it with the knowledge of what they needed for those shots. And the reason I talk about that, there are so many series and movies, high-end, big budget, like some of the best. Game of Thrones does this badly, is that you can see in the shadow, like there is depth, like you were talking depth, but you see maybe a cup or just a moment of a chair, but you see it, you understand that there's things in there, rather than this closing of a shadow, the circles. Sometimes you'll notice your TV just won't quite handle it. But here, they had the foresight to go, yeah, a lot of our series, there's going to be some dark stuff in it, but we don't want our audience to go, oh, what's actually happening? This is like fast forward. That's the last thing you want your audience to do. Yeah. This time, I'm just sitting back and enjoying the ambience with what I can see, even though it's shadow.
Yes. Yeah, the episodes are hour-ish. They're not a set like 60 minutes. There's, you know, some are a little under an hour, some are a little over an hour, which I'm appreciating because it tells the story that it needs to, and then it frustratingly goes to credits. Next episode, please. So yeah, I think you're in for a treat. I think you have to enjoy complex shows, but I think if you enjoy Dark, you know what you're in for. Because this is not an oversimplified show by any means, and know that you are not going to have answers for, well, at least the first 6 episodes. We're going to start to see behind the curtain a tiny bit, but I guarantee that doesn't help understand anything. And I'm okay with that. I thought that actually added to the mystique of the show and makes me want to see it even more and to dive more into this world that they're creating.
Now, we can't rate it, obviously, because we haven't seen the last 2 episodes. So we will probably do a spoiler review, full season review on our podcast. I imagine we want to talk about it a bit when we've seen it.
Yes.
So do look out for that. Let us know your comments down below. What is your favorite series like Dark, and why is it dark? in the comments below.
And just so everybody knows, there is sex, no nudity, a ton of profanity, and some pretty gnarly violence at times. At least in the first 6 episodes. We'll see where it goes from there.
Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.